A very good morning. EURUSD has been slowing down here at the overall 4-hour liquidity high, which we have here to the left. And as we can see, we've printed a 4-hour bearish candle during the Asian session. Morning, guys. My name is Fabio, and as always, we dive into the major dollar pairs, including gold. Now, EURUSD first, and then we're going to dive into GBPUSD, USD yen, USD Swiss, and many more. EURUSD has now provided us with a 4-hour change of character after grabbing liquidity above this major descending high. Now, what we have had here was a massive liquidity grab, and after liquidity grab, we could potentially fuel a further move in towards the downside. Now, what do we need for that further move in towards the downside after grabbing that liquidity? Well, we need the change of character. Now, what we've seen here on the 4-hour time frame is that change of character over here, because we get the overall push up, we get the retracement down, we get one more push up, grab of liquidity, which happened yesterday during the Asian session, and then we see a strong push down. Now, what I'm looking to see is if the market this morning and within the next 2.5 hours can print a strong bearish candlestick. If that is possible, then I'll be confident to look for further shorts in towards the New York session. So let's see if we get that momentum in towards the downside. That's currently what I'm waiting for. What could potentially happen is that we print a overall, let's say retracement in towards this supply zone over here. If we look at the 15-minute time frame, we also have some areas of supply over here. For example, this 50-minute imbalance candles, which we have here, and then we could use, for example, this as the liquidity high. You wait for the 15-minute to push in towards that 15-minute supply zone, and then you wait for the change of character to then look for short position within the next 2.5 hours, which would then print a bearish 4-hour candlestick, which would then provide us with the opportunity to look for those further shorts. So that's what I currently have for EURUSD. If we do not see any confirmation within that supply zone, then just stay out. Also here on the 1-hour time frame, maybe the supply zone is even more clear. Again, this 1-hour supply zone is pretty clean. This buy before the sell over here, which liquidated this previous high. So you could look for shorts from that area of supply. So I would say wait for that to get hit, or wait for 15-minute momentum to start kicking in here. If we look here at the 15-minute time frame, you can already see that we've kind of been taking out these descending highs that we have over here. So let's see what happens. Overall, I am favoring some short positions after that liquidity on the 4-hour time frame, which is very, very clear here to the left, has been grabbed. So definitely looking for those shorts, just waiting for a little bit of confirmation. Going into the dollar index kind of confirms what I'm looking for. Overall, if we start on the weekly time frame, what you're going to be seeing is here that we've grabbed the low of the previous weekly candle. Also on the monthly open, we've also grabbed the low of the previous monthly open as well. So there is still potential for it to drive down a little bit lower, maybe take out the current fractal low, and then start pushing back up again. But in both instances, am I kind of looking for a short-term rebound here from the dollar index? Looking at the 4-hour time frame, you can see that as well. On the 4-hour, after grabbing these two lows, we've seen a push down, pull back, push down, push up again. So we're currently fractal bullish here between the current fractal low and the current fractal high. Now, fractal structure doesn't always need to mean something, but it does often mean something when you take out those equal lows. So what I'm now looking for is to see, can today mark that reversal pattern? If we again break the current fractal high here on the 1-hour time frame, or maybe we first of all retrace in towards this demand zone, one of either two will potentially be the confirmation that we need to look for those dollar longs again. If there's no confirmation at all, and again we just continue with the overall fractal structure down lower, for example, this just plays out as an area of supply. So this buy before the sell over here plays out as an area of supply, and it doesn't break this current fractal high, then just let it rip down lower and follow the overall immediate order flow, because obviously the daily at the moment is fractal bearish. If we look at this daily time frame, you can very clearly see that this is currently your area of, let's say supply, and that the fractal structure is also bearish as well. Going into AUDUSD, AUDUSD itself is still bullish overall. It made a retracement again in towards the downside. It's currently not very clean again. To myself, or for myself, there are no fresh areas of demand overall in the push up. So I would just let this thing do its thing. Sounds or it rhymes what I was just saying, but overall just let AUDUSD do its thing. At the moment it's still so consolidative, so definitely not a pair that I'm looking to be inside of. Overall we can see still the ascending correction, so to me it still makes sense at some point in time to sell off further in towards the downside and deeper in towards the downside, but I'm just not trying to time that overall, let's say, sell off, because every single time it does push up higher again and it takes out more highs. So let's just wait for a real clear momentum to come in, and then we can start looking to target all of those ascending lows. But overall, I'm staying out of AUDUSD. Going into GBPUSD, we can see that GU also had a nice sell-off yesterday from that 4-hour supply zone. However, nothing really too strong. Again, what happens is that here, this is the liquidity high, this here is the supply zone, and now what we've seen is that this is pretty much the current 4-hour supply that is in control. So I'm looking to see, can we get in on a potential short here this morning / today. Again, we have a 1-hour area of supply over here. So this is now your 1-hour supply zone. So I'm looking for a 1-hour short from that supply zone in line with the 4-hour supply that we have over here, the 4-hour liquidity, and the fact that we have daily supply still here to our left. However, it is kind of like against the overall momentum. So I would manage this position more aggressively, and I would look to take off some risk once we start retracing in towards, for example, this area of demand over here. This is more like a pullback trade, let's say on the lower time frame that you could take in towards here, and then wait to see if there's any bullish confirmation, because obviously at the moment still the market structure is bullish. So we would want to see kind of like a deeper retracement in towards the downside on GU in towards here, and then look for longs from there again if we get bullish confirmation inside of that imbalance candle. And otherwise, if you did take that short over here, then you can just hold on to that short if it, for example, runs down lower. Going into NZDUSD, we can see that NU has pushed down lower today. What we happened to see yesterday was a very strong bullish candle close again above the highs, which is nice. Overall, now that means that the current fractal structure is over here, and that these two imbalance candles are your current demand zone, which we've now retraced into. So now on the lower time frame again, you can look for that continuation after price recharges itself. So what's now happened is that we've taken out this trend line liquidity, which we have underneath these ascending lows. So once we take out this low over here, that is the point of, let's say, where you can start looking for the 1-hour double change of character to look for longs again. And either it's going to take out these lows as well, retracing towards this demand zone and then wait for the bullish confirmation, or for example, this area of consolidation is already enough to push it up higher again with this as liquidity. We will have to see, and it will be based on the change of character. So do we get that market structure shift happening inside of it? Do we happen to form a new demand zone, which will then confirm that this is also a demand zone? So for NZDUSD, very simple. Still looking for those further longs. Going into dollar Swiss, dollar yen, and gold. Dollar yen itself formed somewhat of a base yesterday here in this 4-hour demand zone. We've got that first initial fractal structure shift. So we came into this demand zone, fractal structure shift up happened. So now I would wait for the current fractal high to break again before getting involved with any longs, just to wait for a little bit more of confirmation. Dollar Swiss is pushing up higher as well. We can see that if we look at dollar Swiss itself, the market itself came in towards that daily liquidity low, which I mentioned yesterday. And what I mean with daily liquidity low is that we have equal lows positioned over here. So I'm looking for kind of like the fake out to happen and bullish momentum to come into the market. Overall, we haven't yet really seen any bullish confirmation. So what I'm kind of waiting for is maybe a sweep. This becomes the 4-hour fractal high. And then we get into some aggressive longs and take out all of these descending highs as well, and start pushing up higher. Because I'm still bearish on the Swiss franc. However, today we have inflation numbers coming out for Switzerland, and if these come in lower than expected, that should fuel USD Swiss up higher. Just keep in mind, obviously, if the numbers are better than expected, so if inflation comes out higher than expected, that would mean that dollar Swiss would have also some room to fall. Keep that in mind. Looking at dollar Swiss itself, mainly focus on the 4-hour time frame, and see if we get that nice fractal structure shift. Dollar or again gold pushed down lower overnight. Again, we are, however, continuing up higher. Yesterday, again, we continued our overall leg in towards the highs yesterday morning. A very beautiful area of accumulation. Again, breakout, and it just flies. Now what we're seeing here is liquidation happening of these lows, which is nice with this as demand. So I'm now looking for us either to take out this low or for us already to start reversing up higher. But the overall bullish confirmation will come once we break the current fractal high. So either we look for longs at this, boom, we form demand and we look for longs, or we wait for this low over here to get taken out, and then we just look for the change of character again, and then we look for longs again, because gold overall is in its impulsive phase, so we're looking for further upside. Obviously, we've seen already a massive push up, so price could recharge, but everything pretty much in here is a buy for myself, so that's why I'm looking to aggressively continue to go into buys, at least in towards these two descending highs over here. So for me, there's still potential for aggressive gold longs. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic trading day. This afternoon, we're going live on YouTube, 2:30 Central Eastern Time. Hope to see you there, and wish you all a fantastic day. Thanks.